The 21st century is the age of reason. We simply do not believe in anything just because someone is asking us to do so. We ask for the logic and reasons to believe. There are some trends which are changing rapidly in religions in terms of demographics and population. Atheism is on the rise and young people are giving less importance to religion. However, if you believe the 21st century is the age of reason and religions no longer hold much importance, you may want to reconsider your stand. Hi guys, this is Prateek. You are watching Eclectic. Here we talk about our past, present and the future. And in this video, we are going to have a look at the changing religious global trends and what is the future of religions. If you think religion belongs to the past and we live in an age of reason, you need to check out this fact. 84% of the world's population identifies with a religious group. Members of this demographic are generally younger and produce more children than those who have no religious affiliation. Religion is still an integral part of many modern societies, and they influence laws and people's behavior as well as the way how some people relate to others in the world. So are religions going away anytime soon? What is changing is the composition of the world's believers. Christianity has been the world's largest religion for millennia, but its reign might come to an end sometime during the current century. Islam is about to overtake Christianity in terms of population. Muslims are the world's largest growing religious group, according to Pew Research. Their population is increasing twice as fast as the world population. While the world's population will likely increase by 32% in the next few decades, the number of Muslims will possibly grow by 70%, rising from 1.8 billion in 2015 to around 3 billion in 2060. That would make this group 31.1% of the world's population rather than the 24.1% that it is currently. So is Christianity dying out? Research suggests that the rise of non-Christian Europe is affecting the growth of Christianity. Figures show a majority of young adults in 12 European countries have no faith. The survey of 16 to 29-year-olds found that the Czech Republic is the least religious country in Europe, with 91% of that age group saying they have no religious affiliation. Between 70% and 80% of young adults in Estonia, Sweden and Netherlands also categorize themselves as non-religious. The most religious country is Poland, where 17% of young adults define themselves as non-religious, followed by Lithuania with 25%. At this moment, Christianity is the religion of about 31% of the people on earth, as reported by Pew Research. But same research points out that the Christians in Europe are dying faster than the new ones are being born. And that is a significant change because Europe is considered as Christianity's heartland. Christian deaths in Europe outnumbered births by nearly 6 million. Latin America and Africa saw large increases in new Christians, but worldwide they are not matching the pace of Muslim growth. The reason for that is Muslims have more children than the other 7 religious groups studied by Pew Research. With an average of 2.9 children per woman, Muslim women outpace the Christian average of 2.6 children and the overall non-Muslim average of 2.2. In general, in all the regions that have a large Muslim population, Muslim fertility was found to be greater than non-Muslim fertility. What about atheism? Pew Research also estimates that the percentage of religiously unaffiliated people is expected to decline from the current 16% to about 13%, even if the overall number of such folks will rise from 1.17 billion in 2015 to 1.2 billion in 2060. In contrast, the number of religious people is expected to grow to 8.1 billion by the year 2050. While the number of atheists and agnostics is rising in the US and Europe, the fact that on average non-religious people tend to have fewer children is contributing to the overall decline in numbers. From 2010 to 2015, religious people have had an average of 2.45 children per woman, while those who do not believe in any religion gave birth to 1.65 children on an average. Now what about some of the oldest religions in the world? The oldest religion in the world is considered to be Hinduism, which dates back to about 7000 BCE. Judaism is the next oldest, dating from about 2000 BCE, followed by Zoroastrianism, which was officially founded in Persia in the 6th century BCE. But its roots are thought to date back to 1500 BCE. Religions like Shinto, Buddhism, Jainism, Confucianism, and Taoism together are from around 500 to 700 BCE. Then came Christianity. After Christianity, 600 years later came Islam. Hindus are said to grow by 27% and Jews by 15%, mainly because of the high birth rate among the ultra-Orthodox. The percentage of Buddhists is expected to decline in the future. It is said to decrease by 7%. Low fertility rates in countries like China, Thailand, and Japan are responsible for this trend. Interestingly, the adherents or people of folk religions, which include African traditional religions, Chinese folk religions, as well as Native Americans and Australian Aboriginal religions, are likely to rise by 5%. The formation of new religions. Some might argue that the newest religion is no religion, although non-believers have been around throughout our human history, but periodically new religious movements spring up, such as Copimism, an internet religion, the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, which is officially recognized by the New Zealand government but not the Dutch, and Theism, a trans religion that believes death is optional and God is technological. New religions are also gaining momentum in one way or the other. Does religion have an impact on the world? Of course, there are huge consequences to religious beliefs and practices. Firstly, countless wars and conflicts have had an overt or covert religious dimension throughout our history, right up to the present day. In the past few years, we have seen Islamic extremism waging war in the Middle East, a power struggle between Sunni and Shia across the region, the persecution of Rohingya Muslims in Myanmar, the Boko Haram insurgency in Nigeria, violent clashes between Christians and Muslims in the Central African Republic. These are few of many. Women are subjugated, LGBT people are persecuted, and blasphemists are tortured and murdered in the name of religion. Then there is the political impact. Donald Trump won the 2016 presidential election with the overwhelming support of white Christians. Legislators in Argentina recently voted against the legalizing abortion under the pressure from Catholic bishops and the Pope. Hungary's far-right Prime Minister Viktor Orban has cited the need to protect the country's Christian culture to justify his anti-immigration policies. But it's not all bad news. There are millions of people of different faiths across the world who are engaging themselves in social action projects to help the poor and marginalized. Look at the involvement of churches, mosques, and synagogues in food banks and projects to support refugees. So what happens next? How does the future look like? More prejudice and persecution. Followers of most major religions report increasing hostility and in many cases violence. Christians have been largely driven out of the Middle East, and some are calling it a new genocide. Meanwhile, anti-Semitism and Islamophobia are rising in Europe. One of the biggest upheavals on the religious landscape in the next few years is likely to be the death or possibly retirement of Pope Francis, who is now 81 and has a number of health issues. His efforts to reform the Vatican and the Church have led to a significant backlash by conservative forces, who are organizing against his papacy and preparing for the moment when the post becomes vacant. On my channel, I make videos on our past, present and the future, which involves dealing with the history, philosophy, politics and the future tech. Go ahead, check out the playlist and videos that are already available. Subscribe if you find them interesting, and also I assure you that more interesting content will keep coming up. If it is possible for you, economically support my channel on patreon.com.